Hello and welcome to GameGen! City building games are some of the most satisfying experiences out there. There's just something special about watching a tiny settlement grow into a massive, thriving metropolis. Whether it's a medieval kingdom, a futuristic megacity, or a cozy little village. But with so many options out there, which ones are truly worth your time? Well, I've got you covered. In this video, we're diving into the best city building games that you can play right now, from timeless classics to modern masterpieces. Let's get started. Timberborn. I'm gonna start with my favorite, Timberborn. Even though this game is still in early access, it already feels like one of the most unique and satisfying city builders out there. The core challenge: water is life. The game has a realistic water physics system, meaning rivers flow, flood, and dry up. When the dry season hits, water disappears, crops wither, and your colony is in some serious trouble. Unless you've built dams, reservoirs, and irrigation systems to keep everything running. And the coolest part, you're not just building flat cities. Timberborn lets you build vertically, stacking houses, bridges, and platforms to create a multi-layered colony that looks awesome and functions efficiently. It's part city builder, part survival, and part engineering puzzle. And honestly, it's just really fun watching these little guys work. Against a Storm. Alright, let's talk about Against a Storm, a city builder with a dark fantasy twist. You're not just managing one city, you are building multiple settlements all at the same time in a world that's constantly battered by deadly storms. And the kicker? You're working for a mysterious queen who doesn't tolerate failure. Each settlement you build is temporary, meaning you have to adapt quickly, manage resources wisely, and make tough decisions as you expand into dangerous new biomes. Plus, you're not just leading humans. Your settlers include lizard folk, beavers, and harpies, each with their own needs and abilities. With its roguelike mechanics, every run is different, forcing you to change strategies on the fly. Frostpunk. If you think city building is all about peaceful expansion, Frostpunk is here to prove you wrong. This game throws you into a frozen apocalyptic world where you're the leader of the last surviving city on Earth. Your only goal? Keep your people alive, which is far easier said than done. You'll have to ration food, manage heat, and make impossible moral decisions, like whether to force child labor or let your colony starve. The game constantly pushes you to sacrifice something. Do you keep hope alive, or do you turn into a ruthless dictator to ensure survival? Every playthrough feels like a desperate struggle, but that's what makes it so rewarding. If you love tough choices, deep strategy, and a brutal challenge, Frostpunk is a game you won't forget. Hey, if you're enjoying this video and want to see more like it, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It really helps out the channel and lets me know you want more content like this. Alright, back to the video. Dwarf Fortress. The game that looks like it was made in a spreadsheets factory, but somehow delivers one of the most complex and insane simulation experiences ever. At its core, it's a colony building game where you guide a group of dwarves to dig into a mountain, build a fortress, and survive whatever madness the world throws at you. But here's the catch. Everything is simulated, from the way water flows to your dwarves' personal thoughts and emotions. And trust me, things will go horribly wrong. Your dwarves can start fights, go insane, get eaten by forgotten beasts, or accidentally flood the entire fortress because someone forgot to close a door. But here's the beauty of it. Every failure tells an amazing, ridiculous story. Dwarf Fortress is a game you'll either play for thousands of hours or rage quit in the first 30 minutes. RimWorld. If Dwarf Fortress sounds too much, but you still want that chaotic colony building experience, then RimWorld is perfect. It's basically Dwarf Fortress in space, but with a more user-friendly interface and a hilarious AI storyteller that constantly throws disasters, raids, and ridiculous events at you. You start with a few stranded colonists on an alien planet, and your goal is simple: survive and escape. But how you get there, that is where the fun and pain begins. Your colonists have personalities, moods, and relationships, which means petty fights, romances, and complete meltdowns happen all the time. One moment, you're thriving. The next, a rampaging elephant or man-hunting squirrel wipes out your entire colony. Tropico 6. Now let's switch gears to Tropico 6, the ultimate dictator simulator where you rule a tropical island nation as El Presidente. Unlike other city builders, this game doesn't take itself seriously. It's all about corruption, political schemes, and running your country however you want. And want to be a beloved leader who builds a paradise for your people? Go for it. Want to be a power-hungry tyrant who rigs elections, silences protesters, and hoards gold in a secret Swiss bank account? Also an option. You'll manage economy, trade, and international politics while also dealing with revolts, disasters, and rival superpowers trying to interfere. And this time, you can build multiple islands, creating a huge Caribbean empire. City Skylines. Now, if you're looking for the ultimate city building sandbox, City Skylines is where it's at. This game gives you complete freedom to design, build, and manage your dream city, from small towns to massive, sprawling metropolises. Unlike other city builders, the focus here is on realistic traffic flow, zoning, and infrastructure. So if you don't plan things out properly, you'll end up with nightmarish traffic jams and citizens abandoning your city in droves. But hey, that's also what makes it so fun. There's always something to tweak, expand, or improve. And with a huge modding community, you can add custom buildings, new features, and even turn your city into a cyberpunk dystopia if you want. Banished. Alright, let's talk about Banished, the city builder that looks peaceful but can absolutely destroy your hopes and dreams if you're not careful. In this game, you're in charge of a group of exiled settlers trying to start a new life in an unforgiving wilderness. There's no money, no outside help, just you, your villagers, and the harsh reality of survival. If you don't plan ahead, winters will wipe out your food supply, people will freeze to death, and your once thriving town will become a ghost town. It's all about resource management, smart planning, and making sure your villagers don't starve. There's no combat, no enemies, just nature itself trying to ruin your plans. Anno 1800. Here we have a game that lets you build the city of your dreams, or an industrial nightmare. This one takes you straight into the Industrial Revolution, where you're managing factories, trade routes, and an ever-growing population, all while trying to keep your citizens happy, or, at least not rioting. The game is a mix of city building, economy management, and exploration, where you expand across islands, set up supply chains, and compete with rival factions. But it's not just about building pretty cities. You also have to deal with worker strikes, pollution, and the occasional naval battle when diplomacy fails. But the best part? Seeing your tiny village grow into a bustling metropolis, complete with steamships, skyscrapers, and massive factories. Transport Fever 2. If you've ever wanted to build your own transportation empire, Transport Fever 2 is the game for you. It's not just about laying down train tracks and roads. You're designing a massive interconnected transport network that moves people and goods across different eras. You'll start in the 1850s with steam trains and horse-drawn carriages, then progress to modern high-speed rails, airplanes, and massive freight ships. Every decision matters. Placing a station just a little too far from a town can ruin efficiency and cost you millions. And the best part, watching your cities grow dynamically as your transport system improves. There's just something super satisfying about seeing trains, trucks, and planes all working together, making you feel like a true logistics mastermind. Workers and Resources, Soviet Republic. This is not your typical city builder. Workers and Resources, Soviet Republic throws you into a brutal Soviet-era economy where nothing is handed to you and everything needs to be built from scratch. Unlike other games where buildings just magically appear, here you manage every step, from producing construction materials to transporting workers to the actual building site. You control the factories, the supply chains, and even the traffic flow, making sure your economy doesn't collapse. Oh, and don't forget about capitalism. This is a planned economy, meaning you have to micromanage everything to keep your republic running. One bad decision, and you'll have shortages, debt, and one angry population. It's deep, it's complex, and it's incredibly rewarding. Manor Lords. If you prefer a more medieval city builder with a heavy dose of realism, Manor Lords is the game to watch. Now, this isn't your typical click and build kind of city builder. Everything is organically placed, meaning your town grows naturally, rather than on a rigid grid. You'll manage farms, markets, and trade, but here's the twist. It's also a tactical strategy game. That means if bandits or rival lords show up, you're not just watching from a distance. You command your militia in real-time battles. The game is incredibly detailed, from how resources are distributed to how villagers physically carry goods from place to place. It's historically inspired, so don't expect modern conveniences. If your people don't have food for the winter, they will starve. Going medieval. Now, if you want a medieval city builder that's a little more laid back, but still full of depth, going medieval is a great choice. It's kind of like a mix between Banished and RimWorld, where you start with a small group of settlers and slowly build a thriving medieval fortress. You'll need to farm, hunt, and gather resources, but the real highlight is the base building system. You can design multi-story castles, underground storage, and fortified defenses to keep your settlement safe from raiders. The game also has a very cool AI system, where settlers have personalities, needs, and relationships, making your village feel alive. And of course, you'll have to deal with sieges, disasters, and the occasional plague. Because, come on, what's medieval life without a little suffering? Kingdoms and Castles. Alright, let's talk about Kingdoms and Castles, a city builder that mixes medieval town planning with just the right amount of chaos. You start small, with just a few villagers and a dream, slowly expanding into a bustling kingdom filled with homes, farms, and, most importantly, massive castle walls to keep the dangers of the world out. But here's where things get interesting. You're not just building for fun. No, you have to protect your people from Viking raiders, who will pillage your town if your defenses aren't up to par. And if that's not enough, dragons do occasionally fly in to set your city on fire. The game's charming, low-poly visuals make it feel approachable, but don't be fooled. Strategic planning is key. SimCity 4. Before City Skylines, there was SimCity 4, and it still holds up today. This is the game that lets you micromanage everything, from traffic flow to tax rates, while dealing with disasters like tornadoes and alien invasions. One of SimCity 4's biggest strengths is its depth. Traffic congestion, pollution, power grids, water supply, everything is interconnected. Build too many high-rises in one area without proper roads? Well, get ready for gridlock. Neglect public services? Your citizens will leave in droves. It's a game that punishes poor planning, making every decision feel meaningful. It's got a deep simulation system, a map editor for designing custom landscapes, and a modding community that keeps it alive even after all these years. Foundation. If you've ever wanted to build a medieval city without the restrictions of grids or predetermined layouts, Foundation is your game. This city builder is all about organic growth. Your villagers decide how to connect buildings with winding paths, creating a town that looks and feels truly alive. One of the best things about Foundation is how it combines simplicity with depth. At first, you're just placing houses, farms, and, gathering some resources. But as your settlements grow, you'll be managing trade, setting up production chains, and dealing with the needs of a growing population. Your citizens aren't just mindless workers. They all have personalities, ambitions, and sometimes their own problems. I hope you found this video helpful. Be sure to leave a comment below if any of these games caught your eye, or if there are other upcoming releases you'd like to hear about. If you enjoyed this video, consider liking and subscribing for more gaming content in the future. Thanks for watching.